Hey, Hal here. I want to talk a little bit about our partnership with OnX Hunt. I've been using it for a while now, and if anybody knows me, they know I'm not a very techie person, but the OnX app is it's a real time saver. I remember the days when we poured over topo maps everywhere we was going to go and stuff, and I don't do that quite as much anymore. Where it's really helped me is scouting, whether it's deer scouting, a moose, or even turkey hunting in the spring, which I do. It really helps out. I don't have to spend as much time running around the truck burning up the gas. I'm just basically using my OnX. Got it on my phone. Don't even carry a GPS anymore. So I just download the areas where I'm going to be hunting, whether it's up north moose hunting, and I use it mostly on the satellite imagery. I like to see the cuts and the clearings and the turkey hunting, the hidden fields and stuff. But everybody's using it now, from the game wardens to land surveyors, and just a great tool. And with our partnership with OnX, if you use a code BWB, you're going to receive 20% off on your first premium or elite memberships. And you just go to onxmaps.com/hunt. You'll be glad you did. Good luck on the trail.
This is the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Come explore the big woods and timber in North America with your host, Maine master guide and deer tracking expert Hal Blood. Listen to Hal and co-hosts Lee Libby and Joe Kruse as they unlock the secrets of big woods whitetails. Each episode will provide valuable insights into the tried and true system Hal has used for the last 40 years to scout, locate, and hunt mature big woods bucks. Listen and laugh as the crew discusses Hal's legendary adventures and learn how to apply a lifetime's worth of lessons from the big woods to your own hunting and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to the Big Woods Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Hal Blood, and sitting here with Joe down at the lodge.
Hello.
And this weekend we're having our annual Big Woods Bucks family get-together, meetings and all that. And we're getting rained out today, Joe?
It hasn't stopped raining.
It hasn't stopped raining, so we're supposed to get an inch of rain today. And so our shooting event ain't happening, I don't think, unless something miracle happens. But we're having fun socializing anyway. So Good day to do a podcast. And today we've got, you guys are our two newest team members, I think. So we got Brad Willey from New Hampshire, the White Mountain Tracker, right, Brad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mountains. Yep.
And Kevin Stone from the Adirondacks.
How's it going, everybody?
So we're going to get to know them a little bit, maybe pry a deer story out of them if they've got any.
Got a few.
Sure, we can get something out of them. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So your first time over this way, Kevin?
Yeah, this is my first time to Maine, actually. Never even been in Maine, so hunted New Hampshire a little bit, but that's the farthest east I've been.
You live a sheltered life, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Never even got to the ocean in Maine. So no, but it's cool up here. It's definitely cool country. It's awesome.
See any woods around here?
Yeah, it's definitely big woods. It's actually a little bigger than I thought it was, with the cutting and stuff. I was always under the impression that it was a lot more cut than it actually is, to be honest.
You haven't been around too much yet. You get out. It's cut pretty hard.
It is, but you know what's...
But there's a lot of woods left.
Yeah.
When you're not used to it, when you drive around, you see all the woods, but we recognize that the trees are 6-inch diameter. They're not...
Right.
The trees are up over... they're 20, 30, 40 feet tall, but it's not old woods. But
right.
So... But, yeah, there's plenty of it.
Yeah, like our woods is so old where I am, in the Adirondacks. It's nothing compared to here, obviously, so big old stands of timber.
Where you live over there again?
It's southern central Adirondacks, I guess I would call it. Like the Wells Speculator for anyone listening. That's where I live. So,
yeah.
Yep. pretty good hunting over there.
It's got to be similar to where I'm from.
Yeah, I think so. We got quite a bit of oak over our way. Not a lot of cutting. Mostly, all Adirondacks. So can't cut none of that.
And we don't have a lot of oak. It's all beech.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
seems like you're waiting for beech to come in every 4 to 5 years now instead of every other year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got some hills that are just solid oak. The whole ridge. So that's pretty special, I think.
Yep.
There's not oak in them White Mountains
Well, there is, but
places. Yeah.
yeah,
The
here and
southern
there.
whites.
Yeah.
Yeah, the southern whites.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know over here we don't have. They've cut most of the beech off. There's hardly any big beech trees, huh? You don't hardly. I mean, a random one here and there, but
Yeah.
there's no.
Just the annoying young winter beech that makes all the noise when you walk
Yeah,
through it.
yeah. So they cut the big trees down, and then 10,000 of them little ones grow up with all them brown leaves on them there. And
They're like antennas for deer.
yeah,
We were actually just talking a couple weeks ago there about the one lone oak ridge
right.
that's around here,
Yeah.
which be interesting to know how that ever ended up there.
I asked Steve Coleman about that once, and he just said it's just one of those flukes that it's not a long way from the Forks, because we know the Forks south is full of oak.
Yep.
Anything could have started some oak trees up there, and they just flourished.
Yeah.
And but a lot of it too. He was talking about the different trees is soil conditions too. Favors different trees, but but yeah, we don't have the oak here really, and then we don't have enough beech where there's no deer going to beech trees here. It doesn't matter if there's beech nut year or not for the deer, because what few beech ridges there are, the bears are getting most everything before they ever hit the ground. The bears are up there snapping the limbs in and getting them all. So
That was the one thing I noticed, that one oak ridge we have, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, last time I was out there, it was loaded with bear sign.
yeah.
They had scratched up all the trees, and
Oh yeah.
they've been all over that.
And they go up there and do the same thing. They'll eat them when they're in the trees
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
They don't wait for them to hit the ground.
Yeah, I've actually shot a couple bears out of oak trees before. Yeah, they're right up
Really?
in them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even depend on beech anymore.
No, me either.
'Cause it's just so inconsistent.
Yeah, we have a bad
You know.
disease over in the Adirondacks, killing a lot of our beech.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
I
that
do too.
beech scale. It gets a little white dots on it there. Them little, some kind of a
Yep.
I don't know, parasite or something on them. But
Yep.
but even here, I always told people, even back 40 years ago or more when I started hunting up here, I never ever saw where the beech ridges, when there was a lot of beech too, ever really attracted the deer. You know what I mean? They didn't like seek out a beech ridge. If they randomly went through, they'd eat beech nuts, I'm sure, but it didn't draw them because our type of woods is just, there's plenty of feed everywhere anyway, so it's
Right.
they don't need to get to a mass crop or any of that. They're not used to a mass crop. I think everywhere without acorns, the animals aren't used to it, because beech are only every 2 to 3 years anyways.
Yep.
Right.
So what are they ain't gonna wait around 2 or 3 years and
Oh, yeah.
make a big scene out of a beech nut tree,
Yeah, like back in the Adirondacks, it's the mass crop really dictates where the deer are going to be. For sure. When we get acorns, and you can just still hunt those oak ridges, and it's really good. Even without snow, it can be really good. Same thing with the beech. When we have a lot of beech nuts, it's pretty good. But we haven't had beech nuts in a long time now, so
Probably all they got, really.
yeah,
There's
that's
Yeah,
one thing.
Not a lot of browse, just all mature
Right.
stuff. So
Any other time of year, like summertime and stuff, I mean, you got ferns, and that's about it.
how is it? Because there are areas that get cut up there, right?
Yep.
There's logging, so those must be good areas when they come back.
Yeah, there's in the areas around me that get cut, just a little bit north of me, there's a lot of hunting pressure. Quite a few camps in there. They lease out camps in there, so the timber companies do. But they shoot big bucks in there every year, quite a few of them, so it's definitely good hunting,
Biggest thing I hear from guys that come up from down there when they get here is they're surprised at the amount of roads and the access. Just
Yeah.
because the access is so tough down there.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, it's very hard,
Yeah.
but it is kind of, in the same token, I like to walk, so it's kind of nice because it's easy to get away from people.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you go 2-3 miles in the woods, chances are you're never going to cut another boot track.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing that's awesome about down there. So
Yeah, that's where I am. You can't ride the roads really.
Right.
You know, they close the gates as soon as the snow flies. They close the gates.
Yep.
And then people are just like, nah, I'm just gonna park off the road, and they'll maybe go a mile.
Right.
You know, and you can lose them really quick.
They go in
So-
them hiking trails.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's probably similar, because you got all the hiking trails in New Hampshire there in the White Mountains that
Yep.
people hike all summer, and so it's a good quick way to cut a track, probably, huh? Walk them trails.
Yep.
Now I think you guys can use those bikes too, right? The electronic bikes or whatever.
Yeah, I believe you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
don't
we
have
can.
one, but-
I've asked a couple rangers because there's a few spots that you could cover a lot of ground with those, but a couple of the rangers seem confused about it if you're actually supposed to use them or not.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best way then.
Yeah, right. You can't get in
Nobody
trouble.
knows.
Yeah.
Can't get in
Yeah.
trouble.
Those are pretty slick rigs. I was looking at them at the Sportsman Show, but it's like buying a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like
they're
what,
like
$5,000.
4 or 5 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on what you get. But
I mean,
they seem pretty competent as far
Yeah,
as
the country you could probably cover
vehicle
is
goes.
crazy. Yeah.
The only thing I could see with that is you ride in there 2 or 3 miles, you cut a track. In the end of the day, you got to go back and get your bike, no matter where you are. You know.
Yeah.
no different than your truck.
Right.
Yeah, that's true, but you still
just
gotta
not
get
dragging
you
it
gotta
out with
get
it.
your-
Right.
You got to get to your bike and to your truck.
Yeah.
And then if you shoot one, you got to get your bike out and the buck out.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I'd rather walk. Still old school, I guess.
yep.
I've always thought those would be great up north, but you can't have those
No,
either.
no.
Not even allowed
Oh,
to have
really?
a pedal bike up there.
Wow.
Now where's that up north?
North Maine Woods.
Maine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts right above us. It's a organization of landowners that have it managed for recreation. I mean, it's not managed for wood, but there's to allow people in for recreation. So you have to pay to go in there. You can get a season pass, or you pay by the day, or a nightly camping fee. But they
Okay.
maintain good campsites and stuff.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Outhouses.
It's a really
picnic
good
tables.
program.
Yeah, it's a good program. So,
Yeah.
but they don't allow anything in there. You can't take a horse in there. You can't take
Oh, wow.
a bicycle, a pedal bike, an ATV. Nothing goes in except road vehicles.
Yeah.
Wow.
because it's
Currently registered road
right because
vehicle.
it's a
Yep.
danger to for the logging. It's all log trucks
Yeah.
running all on
Gotcha.
roads. They're all private roads and
Yeah.
maintained by the timber companies. So
Their priority is getting the wood out, and everything else is just they just
Right.
want out of the way, and they don't want to deal with or have problems. So
Yep.
yeah.
yeah, every once in a while, unfortunately, snowmobiles will cause a problem and have an accident up there or something, or vehicles too, I guess. I mean, you got to pay attention when you're driving around up there for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Hal here. Just wanted to take a minute to talk to you a little bit about the Big Woods Bucks fanny packs. We have a good supply of them in stock, both sizes, the nooner pack and then the pack with the shoulder straps and stuff. So getting closer to fall all the time, so you might want to get them ordered up. Like I said, we got plenty, but I'm sure they're going to go quick. Best wool pack you'll ever buy. So get them while they're hot. Yeah. So, you got any good deer stories, guys? Brad, you got one? Shoot a buck last year?
Yeah.
Oh, let's hear it.
Yeah. No, yeah. The conditions weren't great. We didn't have a lot of snow. So went up and it was, cornflakes.
New Hampshire.
Yep. New Hampshire. So last year was it wasn't my best year. The year before was really, really productive. But the past couple of years, we haven't really had a lot of snow. So you had to go up to Pittsburgh or you had to wait quite a bit into the season. But yeah, no, I went up and, if you don't have any snow, you got to keep the wind to your face. And I just went up on the base of this ridge and just did some still hunting, was really patient. And what I like to do when I don't have a lot of snow or any snow is I just like to walk like a deer and mimic a deer. So I'm taking 5 to 7 steps, doing some grunting, and then waiting 5 to 7 steps. I'm not waiting forever, though, because I want to get to an area where I want to go. Plus, I'm doing a lot of scouting during that time, and that's what happens. So I just keep going. Toward the end of the day, I thought my dad, he was in the area too, and he was, I thought, further down. So I just sit on this log and I did a little grunting, and then I just see some movement coming, and I'm like, no kidding, there he is. He came out of right behind a hemlock, and it was a beautiful day. Of course, a beautiful day for us is not good.
Right.
You know, it's just, it was sunny and crunchy, and he just comes out and just presents himself, and I popped him with my muzzleloader. So
Nice.
Yep.
That was early season then, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Muzzleloaders first.
Yeah.
Well, that was a quick story.
Yeah.
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 On the edge of my seat.
There wasn't a lot of excitement last year. The year before was the 2021 year was big. That's when I had my tri-state year. So
All right.
that was
Was that Vermont, New Hampshire?
that
and
was
Maine?
Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Just give us an overview of that.
Well, so again, crunchy conditions. I took what I got in New Hampshire. I had some action. That was really good. So I went up.
Crunchy, but no snow.
Crunchy, no snow.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So, in fact, that when that drizzles like right now, and then it freezes over, which makes it even worse. I mean, you could hear somebody coming a mile away.
Oh yeah.
This one's so I go up and I work this area, and I'm coming up and I'm grunting, because that's all you can do is sound like a deer.
Right.
So I'm going up and grunting, and had to take care of some business. That's why I said always grab your TP towel. Remember?
That's right.
Yeah.
Gotta have that.
So I know kid just got done taking care of business.
You carry extra when you're my age.
You were
yeah.
like that picture that's always shown where the guy's against
right.
the tree
Yeah.
reaching for his gun.
Yeah. So I and I had grunted just before that, give it a little good luck, and I hear coming around. I'm like, here they come, So she leads the way, and there's two bucks chasing her. I see one smaller one, and I see the bigger one, and it's through the beach, and I got my 7600, my 35 Whalen, and I just with the red dot. The red dot was huge. That made a big difference for me. I like the Peep too, but that red dot I could really keep both eyes open, field of view, and watch as they came wrong. Really pick my target well.
Are you right eye or left eye dominant?
I'm right eye dominant. Yeah.
Are you
A
left?
left eye dominant, shoot right. So
Oh man.
Oh wow.
yeah.
That's
So
a
I can't.
struggle.
Oh, it is. Well, yeah. I have to close an eye.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't. I've tried fighting it, and sometimes it made me think of it because you said red dot. Because sometimes red dots they're good enough where you can open both
Yeah.
eyes and shoot. But
Yeah.
I just close an eye.
Yeah, I really like it. I went away from it 1 year. I do like the Peep sight still, just because when you have that weather that just goes sideways, that rain. I mean, the red dot does really well in the conditions, the snow and the rain, but it can only do so well. I think it does better than a scope, just because it's smaller.
Right.
It's a 20 millimeter.
Did you shoot a lot of red dot when you're in the military?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we use red dots now in law enforcement, so it's just very natural. It is. So if we were doing that moving deer target today, you'd see the difference. It is lights out. Just target acquisition's very quick. And I was able, on that deer, I was able to pick them apart, tell what I had, and 2 shots. One hit a beach because it was just thick, and then the other one smoked him. So then I went from there, and I went to Maine. Never been into this spot before. Again, crunchy conditions, and went up onto this ridge, and it was actually a beach year. And I don't usually just go to the top of ridges, especially like a hardwood ridge. It's very rare, and I'm just sitting open hardwood. And that's not really my plan, was to sit in open hardwood, but it was a really thin ridge, and it was there was a nice bowl right there, and there's softwood brook coming down from it. I mean, it was nice, and plenty of feed. So I went up there, and actually that's the one I got on video too, and came across, and I had a rough shot with him because I was lean. He caught me leaning. I was sitting, and I only sitting for like 45 minutes, and you can't really tell in the video, but I was kind of leaning like this, and I couldn't bring my gun up all the way, and I just put that dot right there, and I forgot also too that I was higher up, so I hit him lower in the brisket rather than just where I was aiming. So that whaling just really tore him up. So he kept going, and then I shot at him and knocked the left side of his horns.
Oh, I think I've watched that video
Yeah.
on your YouTube. Yep.
Rung his bell pretty good. So then
I don't think I've seen that. I got to check that
so
out.
then, so then he disappears. Yeah, and I go up, I collect my stuff, and I go on up, and I'm just kind of looking where he is, and all of a sudden he pops up, and I put one right in the. I mean, it was quick. That red dot again, just boom, and I hit him right in the back of the head. Of course, I was going for the body. All I had was a Texas heart shot, but at that point, I want to get him down. So as he hopped right where his rear end was, when he came down, that's where his head was then, after the back of his head, and he just, rolled. So I went from there, then I went to Vermont, and that was late December, and great snow conditions, caught a track, it was ideal for once, and he just kept going into this cut area, kind of selective cut. It was really nice. It was beautiful. So I go up and I head towards this saddle. That was my plan, was to head towards the saddle and cut a track, and end up cutting a track. Then I went up there and came up, and we've all done this, I'm sure. Just, you're taking pictures. That's what we do. And I'm taking a picture of my new Woodman Arms muzzleloader. Looks all nice, shiny. Got it all how I want it, Put it up against a tree. This will look good for Instagram, And I'd grunted and done a couple of bleats and so forth, right? And I needed to take a break. I was going a little hot in the track anyway. So I put it down. I take a picture. No sooner do I get my camera back in, and I look to my left, and there he is. He's right on the edge of the softwood. And so I just see a curl that horn, and I'm like, oh, he's a keeper. So I go up, get my GoPro going, and I hit record and take my shot and get him. He goes off a little bit. I check my GoPro, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
It was running, right?
Well, it had the cold weather warning. And you swear by those white batteries.
I love them.
swear
I've
I had
great
one in
luck
there.
with 'em. Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That was great footage. So I'm taking my time, and I put it away, and I go up, and I catch his track. I see hair, and I keep taking it, and all of a sudden I'm like, I see him laying there, head up, by his rack, and I'm like, that's a good one. So that was my best buck that year.
Yeah.
That was a big 10-pointer, wasn't it?
No, Big 8.
Oh, Big 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
I called him
I
Tall
think I've
Boy
seen the
because he was
pictures.
just so high up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice Vermont deer. So that was my first Vermont buck.
Yeah, Vermont's hard too.
Yeah, that was ideal conditions. And
So what was the date of your first, and what was the date of the last one you shot?
November. I want to say November 8th was the first, and my last was probably December 9th.
Okay, so you got in a month. That's a
Yeah.
pretty good month.
Yeah.
I was back to work in December. I'd take November off usually, but I usually go those 3 days. I work a 4 on, 3 off, so I just hunt in those 3 days.
Right.
So sometimes I'm a little tired. I get done a midnight shift, but I still go out. So
Pile of deer meat.
yeah.
After a midnight shift, you're probably coffee and donut right up, ain't you?
Oh yeah, I hit the energy drink, stick it right to me, and I'm like, I'll sleep when I get home. So,
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool. So, anyways, I forgot to mention that. Thanks for your service there. And
Absolutely.
yep, you were over in Afghanistan and that? Iraq?
Nope, Iraq.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was that, Brad?
It was 2003.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right in the thick of it.
Yep. Yeah, that was it was pretty active.
Yeah.
Pretty
I'm
active.
sure.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we had some issues over there, and
Some issues.
yeah,
I'm surprised your hearing's not as bad as mine.
yeah, it's getting there. Yeah, where I get hit my left side, my ear, my left side, I can't really hear too well, but so I just try to pay attention a little bit more.
It's all
turn your-
right.
turn
You're just
your
not in
head.
stereo.
That's right. If I had these on all the time, I'd be good, right?
It's not bad, right?
Everybody- yeah.
Yeah. Now you're a police officer in
Yep. In Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Yeah, Lincoln, New Hampshire. Yeah. Yeah, going well there. So
Yeah.
been there for a bit. I've been all over North Country. I worked in Berlin, Gorham, everywhere. So
Yeah. Cool.
I know the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kevin, tell us about yourself a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, I live in the Adirondacks. Pretty much grew up hunting the Adirondacks. Whole family hunts, so
Well, wait a
Been
minute
a-
now. How old are you?
I'm 24. Yep.
Oh,
So I'm
Sounds like
young.
he's an old man there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I grew up in the
Yeah.
Adirondacks.
Yeah, no,
Spent my
definitely.
whole life there.
Definitely young. Definitely young. But yeah, like I said, grew up in a family that hunts a lot, and actually not a lot of trackers. Mostly still hunting. Is how I grew up hunting. So transitioned to tracking a few years ago, and been having a lot of fun with that. It's definitely changed. Been a game changer. I really enjoy it. But like I said, live over there, and I work HVAC, service tech, HVAC, so heating, cooling, air conditioning,
I didn't know that before you came, Kevin. I got some work for you after we finish.
Oh,
the
do you?
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, that's great. I really enjoy that. I have a little girl, and my wife hunts, too. She's a pretty good hunter, too, so that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So we
Yeah.
can share that together. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how old's your daughter?
She's 3. Going to be 3 July 4th.
Yeah.
Yep, July 4th, baby. So,
Nice.
It's it is. We talk about it all the time when the guys that have daughters
yeah.
and hunt, and it used to be, oh well, I've got my daughter, so she's not going to hunt with me or whatever. But it's women hunting is growing so quick now. and
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a great bond with a father and daughter. And
Yeah, she loves to see when Becca gets a buck or a doe or a turkey or something. And
Yeah.
like this morning, we just released that Neil video, and on Big Woods Bucks, and she watched that 3 times so far. Libby has, so she
nice.
she really likes
That's
to watch
awesome.
hunting and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
You're
Yeah.
doing some filming too, huh?
yeah, I kind of got into filming probably 2 years ago. Lot to learn in that, been a major learning curve there with the editing and all that kind of stuff, but I really enjoy it,
That was
Trying
my
to-
biggest issue, was editing.
Yeah, the editing it is,
That's
that
where
is
the
not
work
easy.
is.
That
Yeah.
is not easy,
No,
So,
finding the right program even.
yeah,
you know,
absolutely,
and then
and
you're getting into music.
it
and-
takes hours and hours.
Yep.
To edit. Right now, I'm working on a moose hunt for Big Woods Bucks, and it just so much footage, and it's
which
definitely
hunt
takes
are you working on?
your hunt with
Oh, the
Willey.
Alaska hunt.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, the Alaska hunt. Awesome footage in that, so that's going to come out cool. I think.
It's a little shaky is the only problem.
Not some of it is, but for the most part, it came out really nice.
The problem is that camera. I mean, we just bring the little handheld. It's got a 52 power zoom or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so when you're using that all the time, it's pretty
and
hard
when
to
you
keep
zoom
that
that
still.
in, you don't have to be shaking much, and it looks like
Right.
Right.
looks like
I
you're
think
shaking
it was
like
the
crazy.
hunters a little shaky myself, but
They get me so nervous every time I see a moose howl. I just go to shaking.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't had a drink in 3 hours.
I get really bad. I get really bad with the shaking. A couple of my buddies make fun of me pretty bad because I got some videos of some pretty big bucks when I was bow hunting,
Yeah.
and just holding the camera up, filming them because they're out of range, and I mean the video is awful, because I'm so excited. But
Now, where do you keep your camera? When you're
my
when you're-
GoPro,
yeah,
my GoPro's on a shoulder mount.
your shoulder.
Yep,
like
yep,
Neil does.
yep, kind of.
Same
Yep.
thing, yeah.
I keep
I
mine
think-
on my head.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, I
this year
did.
when
I
I
did
was.
do a couple days on with the GoPro on my head, but sometimes it gives me a headache. So
Yeah, you definitely got. What I do too is, so I always wear my cap, right? So I always, and I shoot righty. So
you turn it a
I
little.
turn it a little over to the center of my hat. So I
Yeah.
put it on my left, so that if I come up for a shot, it's not going this way. When I come up and it's not seeing what I'm trying to shoot. It's tough
Yeah.
enough with a GoPro when you're trying to capture it anyway, because it usually looks further away than
Absolutely.
it really is.
yeah,
All right.
Makes you look like a good shot.
yeah,
But the nice thing about the newer models is you can edit that and zoom everything
and zoom
in.
Yeah.
everything in, and it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Neil's setup's pretty good, and I think he's going to do a little tutorial today and talk about that as far as
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he's spent a lot of time
He's got it down.
getting that
Yeah.
down. It's like
Kind of techie, ain't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he
techie. I am not a techie guy.
No, but the GoPros have come so far now too. You know,
Yeah.
like you were saying, they're so clear and stuff.
That's the biggest thing I did was invest in a good GoPro.
Yeah,
the 10,
absolutely.
Because I'm not a techie guy, and I'm also cheap. So, so that was my big expense because I use free editing software.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? I do all that, but it comes out all right. I'd be
Yeah.
interested to see what like Neil or you or whoever can do with it. But
Yeah,
yeah, it can be frustrating for non-techie people.
absolutely.
Like me.
We're in the same boat, Al.
I mean, I know the hours that Brian sat through on some of this footage because all everyone does is just give them hours of footage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Here, make a film
Yeah.
out of this.
Yeah.
Well, we're going
And
to
it's-
change that because it's too much.
That's too much work.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to produce their own. It's the way it's going to work. I mean, they don't have to edit their own, but I mean, produce it by giving the clips they want to build a story with,
Yeah, I mean, even if they're just in a row, it helps, honestly. Like, just labeled, first day, second
Well,
day, whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
like I was saying, you write down your time. What do you want to call them there?
Timelines.
Timelines.
Yeah, it's right there on it. When you
Helps
watch
out.
it, it's showing you the timeline. Then you jot that down, and it's exactly the piece
Yeah.
of that clip you want. Makes it easy. Has to be easy for me. I'm simple-minded.
I do. I mean, I do enjoy it after.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to remind myself when I'm out there in the woods, and I'm like, hey, turn your camera on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Get as much as you can, even if you don't think it. That's the trick too. is
absolutely.
Yeah.
Get more than you think you need.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Film everything is
Yep.
what they say.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. The hard part sometimes is when you're close to one, you don't want to be running the camera. So a lot of mine ended up being like, when I watch a lot of them when I show the people at the deer clinics, and I noticed the common theme was like, I get to jump the buck and I'm having a sandwich, and then the next clip is, well, just shot this buck.
Yeah.
It's almost all of them the same like that.
Oh yeah.
Because I was, I didn't bring it back out because I was in hot pursuit,
Well, it's a tough balance too, because
Yeah.
you got batteries. You don't want to kill all your batteries. You can only carry so many.
You don't want to fill up your SD card.
You don't want to fill up your SD card so that when you do get one down,
You can, right.
oh great, now you don't have a battery.
Yep.
Well, that was something that I was talking to Neil about and we've talked about before is with the big battery pack and plugging into it. They're not heavy, and they're not real big that we think there's enough power there that we could run it all day
Yeah.
and just turn it on and go. And
Oh, yeah, one of the GoPros.
it's a lot to go through. And then you can use the handheld and then you combine them both,
Right,
kind
for
of
your
self-film.
interviews.
Yeah.
Right.
I never run out of battery. I mean, I don't turn it on unless I want to say something or show something. So I don't run out of battery. I mean, sometimes I go a couple of days and then I'll boost it up to the top again and keep going.
I try to take more too, like you're doing how I've seen you, and you take your phone or something like that, and I turn it around because the one thing with the style that I use is on your head. I mean, it'd be like watching a person in an in-person video game. You know what I mean? They never see you.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they
Yep.
have no idea, and you're just bouncing. And that GoPro evens it out pretty good. But the last thing somebody wants to watch is not you, and you're going and walking around the woods, especially
Absolutely.
if nothing happens. So
Yeah.
Kevin's probably too young to remember, but back in the 80s when VHS videos came out, you would get sick watching someone's home video.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Oh, yeah. You get nauseous
Yeah.
because it was so bad. There was no such thing as stabilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it wasn't on a tripod, you couldn't, it was hard to watch.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how far technology has come.
Oh yeah.
It's,
Even it balances the horizon.
yeah.
Now.
Yep.
So if you angle, it'll actually balance you out.
Yep.
Yeah. The first video camera I bought when they first come out, the VHS tape, the whole tape went in the camera, and you set it on your shoulder.
Yeah.
So
Oh, my
it was
Lord.
pretty stable because you put the back of it on your shoulder and you look through the.
And you
it
turn.
didn't have no screen. You had to
Yeah.
look in the lens, in the eyepiece,
Right.
and that's how you filmed back then them days.
Yep.
Now, how heavy was that camera? How?
I don't remember.
They
Maybe
weren't real bad.
No.
The batteries were probably this long and this thick. It looked like a brick of gold or something.
Wow.
A big battery. It had to have been 10 inches long by 3 inches, about 2.5 maybe,
Wow.
and 3/4 of an inch thick. You always carried an extra one because those batteries didn't last very long.
Yep.
So we carried an extra battery, but I don't know as that camera was more than 5 pounds.
Okay.
It wasn't heavy, but it was just awkward.
Yeah.
And the fact that you couldn't look in the lens, you had to, everything you were looking at was with one eye out through the eyepiece, trying to capture things. And
I think it was probably 83 when we got our first one.
that's about when I
My
got
parents
mine.
got a camera, and I was, 12 years old, but you would film everything.
I was
Every
3.
birthday party, every, it
We
was
got
like,
them. We got
Wasn't even
three.
thought
I
of
was
Brad.
3.
Yeah, we got a lot of them tapes.
kick you off
and,
that stool.
I actually just,
Maybe I don't want to do that.
I don't think you can get your leg up that far, Joe.
I was rummaging around the garage the other day because when we'd moved, all this stuff ended up in milk crates and totes. Well, I found some of my old tapes, and I'm going to send them into that place there where you can get them done.
Yeah.
And I've got a caribou hunt from the 80s
Oh,
up in
nice.
Quebec. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I didn't know you went on one of those hunts.
Oh, yeah. Back in the 80s.
Yeah.
The heyday of
Back when you could kill a trailer load of them.
You're allowed to, yeah. That was pretty good. We killed all our caribou, then the big ones started coming.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I had a friend of mine that went on that hunt years ago, and like the late 80s, I guess. And it was, I think in that time, they went on like a December hunt, so it was just before Christmas. And there was 10 guys, so they killed 20 caribou. And they brought them back in one trailer. They had an enclosed trailer, and there wasn't enough room in there, so they had the others. They lined them up on top of the trailer crossways and had them all strapped down.
Yeah.
And he pulled into a gas station, of course, around Christmas time.
Oh, jeez.
And this lady gets out of her car and looks at him, "You asshole!" And
Shot all
he
the
didn't
reindeer.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that is funny.
Of course, now we can't hunt them because the herd. Well, it was like a flesh-eating
Yeah.
disease
Well,
or
it's-
something that got them.
It's Mother's Nature's way of taking
Yep.
care of the overpopulation.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Goes in a cycle, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Hal here. Just wanted to tell you we're excited about our partnership with Minus 33. Minus 33 specializes in merino wool base layers for outdoor enthusiasts, from tops and bottoms to hats, socks, gloves. And our gear is going to keep you warm and comfortable no matter what adventure you're on, especially those big woods ones. We're a 5th-generation family, owned and operated, a New Hampshire woolen textile manufacturer. They have over 106 years of woolen expertise, and they started manufacturing woolen socks, the Mountain Heritage ones, in New Hampshire in 2018, with the idea that a quality product, affordable pricing, and can be worn and loved from season to season, no matter what your experience level or skill is, so no one should feel uncomfortable or ill-prepared in the outdoor community. Having a reliable gear is one of the first steps towards a lifetime of passion or whatever activity it is. And my caveat to that is you got to wear your woolies. Cotton is death.
As you all know, Big Woods Bucks is devoted to promoting the best equipment for tracking and still hunting the big woods. Part of that equation for success is the sights that sit on your hunting rifle. We've chosen Skinner Sights as the company to produce our custom-built BWB Tracker Series Peep sight. It's constructed of solid steel, has our custom ghost ring, and was co-developed by some of the best trackers in the world. To get yours, go to bigwoodsbucks.com and click on the optics tab.
That is a hunt that I always wanted to do up there because it's so close to here. It's easy,
Yeah.
to just head north and.
We drove all the way to Fremont, Quebec.
Oh,
Back-
Fremont. That's up near Labrador. That's right on the border.
Yeah.
Lab City's right there.
Yeah, back in the 80s, you seen the roads we was driving on.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be going 5 miles an hour for 50 miles.
Oh, my
5 miles
gosh.
an hour.
Wow.
Potholes.
Yeah.
That's a.
We had to lug a 55-gallon drum of gas,
Yep.
and we got up there, and they flew us from there to Shefferville, and
Yeah.
on it was actually a small, like a jet type plane.
Yeah.
It was just there was 6 of us that went. We had the whole plane. They chartered it to get us out of there. It was supposed to take us out of there in an order, and the weather was bad, so they took us over to the airport in Labrador City there and shoved us on that jet and took us up to Shefferville, hopped us up there, and then we got on the next day onto the order and went from there up north, quite a ways north.
We did that road one night. It's about from Bacomo up to Fremont is like 300 miles or something, 350 miles. It's quite a haul
way
of dirt road, and I remember, I don't know, 15 years ago or something, we were going up there, and we're towing an enclosed trailer with snowmobiles in it, and we left at like 10 o'clock at night and drove up that road in a blizzard, and that was the most nerve-wracking drive of my life. It was. We never saw another vehicle, you know. I mean,
yeah.
And the road was probably a lot better than when you went in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, the road. It was just, I mean, you'd hit once in a while, you'd hit a stretch that must have been graded, and it was pretty good going. There was a lot of it was just, and it rained the whole time, I think. We was on the travel, and that's why I think we couldn't get out of there that night we got there. But, yeah, it was pretty rough. But it was an adventure. But
oh, yeah.
I'm interested to see because I can't remember how much of the traveling I filmed. I can't really remember it. Got no way to play those tapes anymore, you know.
Right.
I should have kept an old VCR player, and I never did. So I'll send them in. And
you want to get them done quick because those VHS do degrade over the years.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
bad.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the quality does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a big tape. It's almost like a.
Is it one of the 8mm tapes?
No.
Or it's one of the
It's a
actual
VHS tape. You put the whole tape right in the camera. You open it up.
Oh, yeah.
It opened up. You shove it in there and close the door, and it filmed right onto that tape. And then you took the tape and stuck it in your player and played it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Then
You ever watch one of those?
Yeah.
All right, just checking.
I've seen a few.
Yeah. I work with guys. They have no idea.
Yeah.
Like they're like a VHS or.
Well, there was the ones before the 8mm. That was
I've
8mm
never seen one of
reel.
them.
Yeah. Then they had a 16mm.
Yeah. My son never saw a Walkman before. And he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Yeah, you put a tape in it."
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you say that. I just found recently, this was from probably around the same time frame, 83, 84, was the Sony Watchman. And I got one for Christmas one year.
Yeah.
And I found it in a box recently. And so it was like, you know, before, years ago, I would have just thrown it away. But now I wonder if that's worth something, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I looked
that's
it
a
up.
relic.
Yeah, I looked it up. They sell for a couple $100 if one in mint condition.
It's mint.
Yeah.
Doesn't pick anything up. It's got a little antenna on the side. You pull the antenna up, and it's got a screen about that big.
Yeah.
I mean, like 1.5 2 inch screen.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing back then.
That was
when those came
technology
out.
back then.
Yeah. Now, how many times did you guys go to Alaska?
I've been sheep hunting twice and then moose hunting once.
Yeah.
And you've been.
I've been moose hunting twice.
And you're
I
going
went a
again
couple
this year.
times. Like I went on my honeymoon. I mean, not
Right.
It was just a trip, but for hunting
Yeah.
or fishing.
And that's the video you're doing on his.
Yeah, and
his
one
moose
of the
hunt?
Alaska.
Him and
moose
him
hunts,
and
yeah.
Lee's hunt.
Did
Okay.
2 years ago.
I was wondering. I didn't know if I gave Brian, because I got a bunch of good footage from the first time I went, when my buddy Chris and I went. That would probably make for
Yeah, we'll have to.
something pretty good.
Yeah,
do
we'll have to
sometime
talk
too,
about it
but-
later. See if we can combine it somehow.
But I'm going to really focus on it this time a little more.
Are you going this fall or?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. There's
Yeah,
like
him and
4 of
Matt
us.
that we just had on the podcast.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, no
that'll
kidding.
be that'll be cool.
That'll be some good footage.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
You get Matt on film telling stories.
Possibly one of the best podcasts from the
Oh, yeah.
feedback I've gotten was the last one with Matt.
Yeah.
You know, and we all knew it was going to be a hit if we ever got him on here.
Right.
You know, but
Yeah.
I finally
Yeah.
twisted his arm and
Yeah.
got him to tell some stories.
Kevin, you got a story?
Yeah, so I'll tell you about the buck I shot this year, I guess. So I shot 2 bucks this year, one with the bow.
You mean last year?
Yeah, last year. Yeah, haven't been hunting this
May
year
have
yet.
to talk to you.
Yeah, sitting here with a cop. Yeah. But yeah, I shot 1 buck with the bow, an 8-pointer, and then I shot a buck with the rifle, another 8 tracking. And that buck was the second day I tracked this year. Second day we had snow in the Adirondacks. First day I caught up to 2 little younger bucks,
Yeah.
nothing for racks really. just was kind of following them, trying to get into some other deer. So the second day we had snow was a Saturday. Got in the woods with my dad. We kind of split up, and I went up this trail a ways and cut to my left. There's a really big runway, a migration trail actually, and quite a few deer had been on it already. And so it was heading up on this ridge to my left, so I kind of circled around the back of it. There was a pretty good track in it. So got around the back of that ridge and started up on it, and I cut a pretty good track for the Adirondacks and started following it. Definitely knew it was a buck. Brought me down into this, it's kind of all spruce and balsam around this pond, beavers in it, and all kind of lie looking, all grass out there and stuff. Yeah. Pretty spots, Yeah. So makes a pretty good rub on a balsam down there. So, now I know for sure it's a pretty good buck. And kept following him ways, and he actually got in with another buck in about the same size track. And they were kind of dinking around with each other. And the one laid down for a while, and then the other one had been away and came back, and trying to sort all those tracks out was kind of tough, and finally did. Kept going on it. And they're still actually walking together. And, there's piss everywhere. There's little rubs here and there and whatnot. So finally they take me up behind that pond and up onto the next ridge. And they had fought there a little bit, and there's some hair. And I was filming all this. And then a doe had come in. So, like I said, tracks everywhere. Extremely hard to, couldn't tell what was what, really. So I ended up going back down the track and making like a 250-yard, 300-yard loop to my left. And I hit the one buck track coming out, going back down towards where I came, where I had come up from. And I knew my dad was down there, so I walked over that one and just called him on the radio, told him there was a buck, that track was heading down that way. So I kept making the swing and caught the other buck going out the other way, total opposite way out of that area. So I got on that track and really didn't go that far, and it started looking a little fresher because it was crunchy snow, so, he was breaking through it, and started looking a little fresher, so I was kind of slowing down a little bit, and he brought me through this hellhole, couldn't be quiet at all. It was awful. So I kind of just put my grunt call in my mouth and just walked through it as,
That's what I do.
Yeah, you couldn't be quiet in it, so just kept grunting, and get through there is like a 250-yard, going through there is just spruce, nasty, ripping your hat off and stuff. It's terrible. So I pop out the other side, and as soon as I pop out the other side, I see him up on the side of the hill, and he takes one jump up over the hill, gone, Never even saw his rack. I just saw the deer. And so I stood there for a few minutes, filming that and whatnot. Went up to his bed, see the great big bed under a spruce tree right there, and sat down for a while, kind of dinked around there. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I can't really sit still very long, so kind of was looking at the bed and went back to where I was and seeing what he saw and whatnot. Had a sandwich, and this is only like 10:30 probably at this point, so it's pretty early still. I knew I had all day on him, so I wasn't really going to rush it, So I started on his track, and I only went probably 300 yards, and I'm kind of cresting up over this, it's like real sprucey and hemlock in there. Mm-hmm. And I just happened to stop for some reason, and I hear a deep grunt in front of me. And then I didn't, I didn't know for sure. I was like, was that really a grunt or not? And I hear it again, and it sounded a little closer, and then I hear it again. I'm like, oh, that's that buck. And it's right down the track, And so I reached up, turned the GoPro on, and I was going to grunt back to him at first. Like, if you watch the video, I put my grunt call in my mouth, but then I was like, no, he's coming back down his track. So I just got the gun up, clicked the safety off, and just about the time I did that, he popped up, and I see his rack pretty good coming up over the hill, and he kind of just stands there, facing right at me. And he's probably only 35 yards, pretty close shot. I put it right on his chest, and it hammered him pretty good. And he took one jump, and I pumped the gun, shot him again. That one hit him in the neck. He went right upside down right there, and I ran down there pretty excited. Pretty nice buck. He weighed 174 pounds, so pretty good for the Adirondacks. Nothing like your bucks up here, but so that was a good hunt. Yeah, my dad got to be there for it. He came over. We got pictures and whatnot, so it's always fun to be with him when we get one.
I like hearing him grunt too. I mean,
it's awesome.
That was the coolest part of my whole year last year. Wasn't even getting that buck.
Yeah,
I've never heard a buck growl.
Yep.
You know that one, you always hear it on like YouTube or something like that, and there's just that brrrr. At first, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, is there another guy in here with a grunt tube, you know? But sure enough, I saw that the doe was blowing at me. I thought I had it on video. Well, I do, but you can only hear the doe blowing, and then you just hear him again. Brrrr. I'm like, what do I do here? I should have done it. I'm thinking back at it, maybe do a snort wheeze.
Yeah.
But it was the first time I've had a buck growl, so it was like, if it was a grunt, then I'd be grunting. So I just did it back at him. He didn't go anywhere. He did it again.
Yeah.
So it's not like he just took off. But that was the coolest experience last year.
Did he click at all when he was grunting?
I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear that.
I remember I had we were hunting my property down here one time, and a buddy of mine was there hunting with me, and he had a buck under him for a long time with a doe that was hot, and he said it was so loud and it was so nonstop. At first he thought it was a dirt bike coming down our little trail there.
Oh, wow.
He said it was so long, if you try to do it yourself, you'd run out of breath.
Yeah.
Copying it. But then he said it was clicking, and which he'd been in the woods a lot, never heard anything like that. So we did a little research after, and I guess it's right when he's trying to get the doe to stand and she won't.
Yes.
And he's frustrated.
Oh, no kidding.
Is when they do that.
Nothing to do with a buck. It's all about the doe, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was trying everything it was real thick under him, and I remember he had his gun up the whole time, just waiting for it to step out. And
That's what I was doing. You can see the video. I'm like, come on. You can even hear me. I'm like, come on, get near me. You know? But that by far was that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it a few times in the Adirondacks, but like I said, you almost think it's fake sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like you said.
I've heard him grunt.
Yeah.
But I've
My
never
wife
heard that.
actually, the buck she shot this year came up to her grunting a 9-pointer with the rifle, and she was still hunting. That was before I shot my buck. And she was still hunting this Oak Ridge, and she told me she could hear her grunting coming up to her, and she didn't know what it was at first. And all of a sudden the buck pops out and walks right up to her, just about, just on a mission. So
now, what'd
she
you get
shot
him
that
with?
one.
What type of rifle?
The one I shot this year was with a 7600,
Yeah.
a 3006. Yep. Normally I hunt with a bar, a 270 BAR.
The
Yep.
Sheeran boys are trying to get me into that.
Yeah, this was the first year I've actually carried a pump.
Don't let them
Yeah.
corrupt
Yeah.
you.
I'm not gonna. I got one lever gun, and they think I'm on board, and it's like, hey.
No,
there's nothing wrong with a bar. Come on now.
I'm in love with
that's
the bar.
right. Joe's a bar guy.
Yeah.
too.
Well, I just don't get. I mean, I like it all. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got mine. I've got one of those long tracks, and I cut it down.
Yep.
And I mean, it's
a slick gun.
and it shoots better cut down.
I got mine in my truck. I'll have to show you. Mine's it's above the high grade, what they called it. Mine's Belgium made, so it has
Fancy.
Yeah,
That's a nice.
I
gun.
shouldn't even have it in the woods.
Yeah.
When you see it, it's very nice. It's got a mule deer engraved on one side and
I've seen
whitetails on the other side.
I've seen it before.
Yeah. I've killed quite a few bucks with that gun.
Yeah.
It's a nice
I
gun.
got a lot of guns too, but I only deer hunt with one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never switch.
I go against your advice sometimes.
So you've
Hal,
never
carry
taken
different guns.
another gun. Obviously you started. I remember you talking about you started with a bolt, and then
Started
you
with a
slowly got
lever,
to
then I went to the bolt.
Yeah.
And then I bought my pump in 1987. First year they had the carbine 7600.
So that's the one.
That's
That's
the
taking them all.
It's the only gun I've ever shot deer with since 1987.
Wow.
80. I shot the first deer with that. My first buck with that in 88. The first buck I shot with that gun was over 200. It was a 213 Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Now, what did you bring out west when you went to Montana and shot that buck and then the elk and?
Well, deer, I always take my pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I shot one elk with it. I took it out
kidding.
there elk hunting one year, and I shot an elk with it. I've shot an elk with the Woodman Arms.
No kidding.
But most of the time I was testing guns for Remington, so whatever the one they wanted promoted was the one I
Gotcha.
would take that year,
And 30-06, right? Is your
Yeah,
primary?
because that's the only caliber they had in the beginning, and then they started making some other calibers. Because they made the 7600 come out in 81, but they never made a rifle till 87.
Yeah.
And then that was the last year they put the white line spacers in them.
Yep.
like the 760s had.
Yep.
Because I bought another one in '88, and it's exactly the same, but it doesn't have the spacers in it. It's got the same, that pressed floor-to-lower checkering.
Yeah.
And so I bought one of them, and then I actually put a scope on that, and I carried it, and I never shot one with that gun. I carried it on the good days for like maybe 3 or 4 years, and finally I said, I shoot a buck every year with the one with the peep sight, so I said, I don't need that gun.
Right.
I took the scope off, put a peep on that, and I gave it to my son when he was probably 16 or something.
I had a 30-06. Well, I still do. I gave it to my son. That's the one. I really like that one. It's got, I love the wear on the steel from your hands, from your trail carrying it and so forth. And I shot all my 200-pounders are on that gun. But then I did some investigating a little bit, and I wanted a bigger caliber, and I was just reading up, and I went to 35 Whalen, and I don't think I'll turn back.
Everyone swears by that Whalen.
That thing's a hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
On both ends.
Yeah, on both ends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a little bit more of a recoil pad on it, and it eats it up pretty good, but I mean, no problem going through trees like that.
Yeah.
And then hitting what's behind it. Softwood,
Yeah.
But it's a hammer.
Now I'm a 270 guy.
270?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite caliber.
Yeah.
So
What do you, Joe?
30-06, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's. I always look at 30-06 like it's good for everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Unless you're hunting Cape Buffalo.
Yeah, if you were going to buy one rifle, that you could buy that rifle and take it.
I mean, I've
anywhere.
got them in all kinds of different calibers, but I never use them.
Oh, we know.
I've got a I've got a Whalen that I've got set up with a peep, and I will use that if it's a day just tons of snow and on all the trees and everything. You just don't want to deal with all the snow on the scope and that.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I got that new Ruger Marlin 4570.
Yep.
And then Andy Larson hooked me up with a sweet peep sight.
Nice.
So, it's nice. As soon as I got it.
You got a special edition?
I do have a special edition.
Uh-huh.
Did you know about this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I forget
This is
about
interrogation time now.
Yeah, really.
You're on the other end of the interrogation, Mr. Law Enforcement Officer.
It's pretty sweet. So I got it, and he hooked me up, and I'm really appreciative of it. But I'm going to keep it just like that because I run red dots.
Yep.
But that I'm going to keep with the peep sight on there, not just because it looks good and But
Now, is your red dot magnified at all?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
No. It's if you look at that red dot, I've talked to quite a few people online about questions and so forth. They're like, I don't know if I can do it, or it looks really small. And you look at the housing of it. When you actually bring it up, and I set it far forward like a scout gun, so it's not really up close. So I keep it out, and you don't even really see the housing. All you really see is a black ring with a red dot. You blur the black ring of the housing is blurred right out, and you just see the red dot with your both eyes open.
It's because there's no magnification.
Right.
If you have no magnification, you won't see that.
Yeah, it's just really like a big peep sight.
Yeah.
It
I
really
do-
is.
I do have one of those red dots, but it's on my
Your turkey gun?
no, it's on my R25.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All you guys run around with your 5.56s, but
Oh, yeah.
I got the 308.
Oh, no kidding.
R25's a 308.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I put the red dot on that. Thing drives tacks.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
It hits pretty hard too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
No optic is perfect.
No.
There's days that you
absolutely
wish
not.
you had a scope. There's days that you wish you had a peep, a red dot, or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, it just seems to be kind of the, covers all the bases.
Yeah. See, I know Hal's hunted back not far from where I hunt a lot, but I like having magnification because sometimes I'll see a buck at 110, 120 yards. You know what I mean? And he's over on the next hill, and it's, there's potential to shoot pretty far over there.
Yeah.
Compared to here.
Just put the
I
bead
guess.
right on them. And
Yeah, no,
rock
I
and
know,
roll.
but I know. I don't know if I can do it though.
That's way harder than it.
Yeah, he makes
than
it
it's
sound
easy
really
to say.
easy.
Yeah, at 120 yards or 150 yards
Yeah.
with a peep sight.
I don't know if I could trust
I mean,
myself.
you can do it.
personally,
I have a hard time
it,
with that.
but
Because I always
do.
feel like the bead is just
the size of the
Cover,
deer.
yeah, it's covering the whole thing.
I did that in Maine, and it was I had a fiber optic, and he was out there. And I'm like, I'd come up, and that front sight's covering his whole broadside.
Yep.
And I'm just like, gonna send it.
Yeah. Got to try it, right?
There's snow. It's
It was snow
tough.
too.
Exactly.
If there's no snow, it's a little.
Yeah, that would be dicey. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I
Hey, if
hit him, spined him, dropped him, had to.
It's covering up. You're going to hit it.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. So I was thinking, I'm like, I'm gonna hit him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hit him, and either gonna spine him or hit him in the lungs.
Right.
So if he wasn't in it, it would be a little different too. He was broadside to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I always heard facing you, like with their heads down, is kind of a hard shot with a peep. I don't know for.
Done it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've heard that a lot of people miss that
one
shot.
That film I got, the Adirondack fighter there.
Yep.
That's right.
That's
Hit
where you
that
shot
one.
him.
He was feeding. He was coming towards me, and he put his head down. He was feeding there, and I just put it, right on where his neck goes into his shoulders, and
Yeah.
he dropped like a sack of potatoes, never even moved.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you get him in the spine,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
When there's snow too, I just let him have it. Just
Yeah.
hammer him.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean-
Brad, have you ever packed a buck out in New Hampshire or no?
Oh, no.
No.
No, I just drag him out.
Do you?
It's all downhill over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Unless you get him in a bowl, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
But
I know
Yeah.
here you can't, but
yeah. I lost a couple pairs of wool pants, so I'm gonna be asking Chris for a pair. I was going down and dragging that one out from was it last year? Last year, and I'd fall in a hole, or I'd be coming down this steep because it's just so mountainous. He'd be sliding right into me, putting his tines in my wool pants, tearing them up.
oh jeez.
Yeah, those were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've dragged them down out of them steep places. I just let them go. I get them started, and they'll slide down. They'll pile up.
Yeah.
Just straighten them out and go again.
Well, this was like a finger, and it was a really steep finger. And I
yeah.
knew I had to keep on the right, but I wanted to stay on that finger as much as possible because I didn't want to get down.
Right.
So I had to keep him up there, and he just keeps sliding into me. But he tried to slide over the other side, and I didn't want to let him go because I'd have to bring him back up.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
That's when you're dragging in the mountains. You stay as high as you can,
Yep.
as long as you can.
Absolutely.
Because once you head down,
oh yeah,
you might get in a bad place. You got to get out of it.
Forget about dragging. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to
oh yeah,
work up.
Yeah.
So,
The easy way out. That's it. I got one more quick one here.
okay. I was just letting you know where we're at. That's all.
About the growl. I was going to tell
Yeah.
you when
Yeah.
first time I heard that, I was guiding. It was one of the first years guiding guys up the lake when we used to go, and I had this guy. I can't remember because sometimes we'd split the guys up, and I'd circle around and try to do something. But we run into a big buck with a doe there, and it was getting to be dark. It was on the backside of a lake, and we didn't have enough time to do anything. We jumped him and stuff, and I told the guy, I said, they ain't going to go nowhere tonight. I said, we're going to come right back in here in the morning, So we get out of there, and we went back first thing in the morning there and just eased in. And it was just a little narrow place. It was kind of a funny place. It come down off a real steep ridge, and then it was a flat for probably, 200-300 yards up along the lake. And that's where they were running. They was in that flat along the lake there. It was all green growth and stuff, but older green growth. You could see pretty good in places. So we eased up in there, and we got on one of these it was just like a little bit of a ridge there, just going easy. It was an old deer trail there, and all of a sudden I could hear a deer coming. So
Yeah.
I said, get ready. And this doe, we was like coming right up the deer trail, and this doe come flying by like you could have patted her on the way by. And then she went by, and then I could hear that coming,
Oh man,
I'm like, get ready. All of a sudden, here he comes. Comes right up over the ridge, coming right at us. It's a 3-pointer.
oh no good.
And we're at the buck we see the night before.
Yeah.
But he was making that noise as he
Oh,
yelling.
yeah.
So he already somehow knew, you know, they hear
Yeah.
each other
Yeah.
or something. But
Probably bred into him too, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
It fires you up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it does.
Oh man, it got me going. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, click the
Just-
safety off, ready to.
oh yeah. I
rock
was just
'em.
waiting for him to come in. I'm like, just get over here. I'm gonna hammer you, dude.
Well, when you hear it, you automatically think it's a big one, you know,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you hear it.
right.
But,
Yep.
so
Right.
that's my point was it always ain't going to be a big one. They all
Right.
do it.
Do you guys ever see that video the guy took out in the Midwest where he shot the doe and it died, but the doe was in heat, so all the bucks started coming around?
No.
I don't think I have.
Oh.
You gotta send that one to me.
So that's where it was really, I think at the time, it was the first time anyone had captured the buck roar,
Yeah.
you know, when they growl. And it's amazing footage, but they made sounds. These bucks were making sounds that you'd never think a deer would make.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I'll find it and send it to you.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, like, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
like almost like a bear or something, you
Yeah.
know, as loud
Yeah.
as they are.
There's a video on. You ever hear of the extinguisher
Yeah.
call there?
Yeah.
Yeah, on that Illusion Games systems or whatever they call it there, their YouTube. They have a video of a buck doing that roar, and it's like, it's crazy. You know,
Yeah.
it sounds crazy.
Do you guys use tubes or use your mouth?
I use the extinguisher.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's what I use.
I use both. I can do a pretty good one
Yeah.
just
Show
with my
them
mouth.
what you do. No, it's not just with your mouth.
Yeah.
He does that. He burps.
You have to
Oh, yeah.
burp on command. You know, if you can do that, some people can, some people
Yeah, I
can't.
wouldn't be
So
able to
you
do
just
that.
grab the air and just go.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'll end up tossing my cookies in the woods.
Yeah,
take the
really. I'll be
extinguisher.
gagging myself or something.
Well, that's what I do if I walk along, like you talk about walking along,
Yeah.
grunting. See, it's easier than having a
They call in your mouth.
having a tube stuck in your mouth doing it.
Yeah,
So I can just
do
go
that
along
again,
easy.
Hal. Nothing.
I use the brawler.
Yep.
It's that Quaker Boy one, pretty good, flexible, but it's got a little lip on it, and it allows you just to keep it in your mouth the whole time, just kind of pinch it underneath your teeth, you know,
Yep.
and just just the whole
Yeah.
way if it's
Yeah.
crunchy, you know.
Yeah, I can. Once I get going with it, I can make those long ones too with it.
Yeah.
You know, if I get enough air, I can make a long one too.
See, I can when I'm home or I'm in my truck, but I get out in the woods. I don't know if it's the air hitting
I'm
my
the same way.
throat.
Yeah, I can't
I
do it.
sound like probably like a fawn.
Yeah.
Sound like a big old buck when I'm home there. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we hadn't we had the moose lottery since last one. So congrats to everyone that is
Yeah.
doing moose hunting. But we're
Including Joe.
Including
me,
Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got lucky.
Joe
again.
gets lucky. I think he's stacking the odds somehow.
You know you can't do that. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
luck of the draw. But it was one of the it's been that hectic week, I think, for all of us with all the
Oh yeah,
phone
the
calls.
bookings,
But that's,
yeah.
I think we're all set now.
Well,
Lee and Ben.
One thing I saw about this year was between talking to you guys was the people are finally understanding. You got to book if you want to get a good guide. You got to book that like right off.
Yeah.
Used to be people would wait for a couple of months. You'd get a call in August. Yeah, looking to get a moose hunt. You know, and like, well, where are you going to get that? You know.
Yeah, good
Right.
luck.
So people are learning that. I mean, we all had calls like that the night of the drawing. I had a call. My first call was, and I don't advertise it enough. There's people know me enough, or somebody tells them to. But I had a call like 5 minutes after they posted it online,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so they're learning to get. There's still people looking now because sometimes maybe somebody's on vacation and they don't know. A lot
Right.
of people
Yeah.
don't even know when the drawing was, and.
Right.
A lot of people drag their feet and think, "Oh, I got plenty of time. I'll call around and talk to people." And by that time,
Now you're on
it's
your
too
own.
late. But
Yeah.
I talked to Lee coming home that day, and he already had a couple booked in the lottery. It had just ended, and I talked to Brandon Lane. I think he had 5 or 6 booked before it was even over.
Yeah.
Before they had
wow.
finished. Yeah.
I think Ben
It was
is too,
fast.
right?
He is
Yeah,
now.
Ben's all,
Yeah,
yep.
Ben just booked up.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Brian Dongy, who had built Epic Adventures over the years, a real good outfit. He sold to Ben, so now Ben Allen is running Epic Adventures, which is great.
Yep.
That he found
He's-
got someone within the team, and
Yeah, so he's all booked, and
Off and
Lee
running.
said he was booked. Did you say you
Yeah.
could take one more?
I could take an 8, but if I don't
Yep.
get it, I'm not going to look for it. So
You ain't looking for any other zones. Huh?
no,
Yeah.
no. You know, it's funny. You never know how it's going to end up, where you're going to end up, and all that by all the swapping. But I'm real happy this year because the first week we're pretty much all for September with the exception of one, and the
Yeah.
second week we're in zone 8 with the exception of one.
I gotta start putting in.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm from New Hampshire, so it's just like, I mean, you got a better chance of winning the megabucks.
Every
Yeah.
year, I get at least one person that's a non-resident that gets drawn.
Yeah.
Their first year putting
First
in.
year they put in. Yeah.
Oh wow.
This year I've got a resident that he forgot about the
So he lost his
the
points.
lottery. No, he applied 2 days before the
No
and
Oh
got
my
picked.
gosh.
He got it.
Yep.
Wow.
First time ever.
First time he put in.
Just got to have the luck, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, some
it's
people
just it's a random drawing. Then you got Kelly, Lee's wife, that's been since the beginning
Over 40 years now.
and still
Never
hasn't
drawn
been
Got
drawn.
all the bonus
Wow.
phones. Hasn't been drawn.
Yeah,
Well, that was like Lee, right? Lee
Yeah.
took
Lee
40
was
something years.
Lee was 40, so it's
Yeah.
got to be 42 for his wife now.
Yeah.
that's right.
I was
Wow.
33,
Yeah.
and then I was 9 more years. I got another one, that one last year, that my grandson shot, and you only went 5 years in between. right?
17 was my last one, but I was talking to someone about the other day that was kind of frustrated and look, I don't make the system. I just put my name in.
Right.
Yeah.
But within my household, since 2000, my wife's had 2, my daughter's had 2, my son's had 1, and I've had 2. And we just and in the early days that was as a non-resident too.
Right.
So I wasn't even a resident. So it's
Right.
just it's a lottery,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Hampshire doesn't give out like nearly as
They
many.
don't, and they don't give out enough over there. They're kind of backwards, I think. But
Yeah.
I would agree.
yeah,
Because it's like I see them all the time.
No
yeah.
kidding.
They
Oh,
don't-
yeah.
they-
Wow.
They're not. They're gonna.
But you got a good herd though. I mean that's
Yeah.
and I haven't been over there to see it, but I know everyone that I know that either shed hunts or deer hunts or whatever
Yeah.
talks about the quality of the herd and
Yeah, but it's gonna.
the size.
They're not gonna kill enough, and it's gonna get the ticks are coming again, and it's gonna start all over. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're-
I guess
they're
we'll
not
see.
managing it right over there. It's
Now, is it-
obvious.
Is it preference for residents in Maine? I don't know quite how the
No,
rules work
it's a
for
separate
lottery.
pool.
Oh, it is?
A non-resident. 10% of them go to non-residents.
Yeah.
So you're just drawing against non-residents, and residents draw against residents.
So a majority go to the residents.
Yeah, 90%.
See,
Because
I think that's the way it should be.
they buy 90% of the licenses. That's how they figured it.
Yeah.
So 10% of our main license sales are bought by non-residents. So
Yeah.
that's the fair way to do it.
So the way I figure it, though, Hal, is on my way to work, I got to dodge them all the time.
Right?
So I should be able to take one as a resident. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. Route 3 is a corridor for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We definitely don't have that many
Oh,
over
yeah.
by us.
I've
Not like that.
I've almost hit one probably at least twice a year.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Right in the same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got them regular places, but
I came close last week. I was heading home and it was like 3 p.m. I was daydreaming, wasn't even thinking about moose. And this bull came running out from the left side, wide open, kind of like at an angle coming out in front of
Yeah.
me. And I mean, I didn't even have time to really react to swerve around him. And fortunately, he hit that yellow line and just did a quick turn like that and went
Yeah.
back in. But I would have smoked him.
Yeah.
I didn't stand a chance. And
I've shot
was
more
happy.
moose on the job.
that's right.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure.
Oh,
you have.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 gauge
Yes.
slugs.
So, anyways,
I smell food.
the burger's on.
Burgers are off. The burgers are sitting over on the table waiting for us.
Probably a cold core somewhere too.
There might be.
Probably.
Probably.
We're sitting in the bar. There might be one close here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right then. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on, guys.
Yeah. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, glad to have you on the team, and we're looking forward to lots of stuff together.
Absolutely.
If everything goes right, this is going to be our first videoed podcast. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we don't want to get
Yeah.
our hopes too high.
Yeah, we got the
Now
camera.
that you
If
promised
it's
it,
a
right?
blank screen, you'll know that
Yeah.
it didn't go well.
Brian told us it will work. He'd figure it out, so So if you can see us during this podcast, Brian got it figured out, and if you don't, we're still working on it.
And it's
we'll get
Brian's fault.
Yeah.
but we'll get it sooner or later here. So then everybody can see who's animated when they tell their stories and
Yeah.
who's stone-faced like me.
Well, we're way behind. We always are with the technology stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'm not.
we're
tech
trying to
savvy
catch
yet.
up.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
so
all right.
hopefully this is the beginning of it, and we can get them up now on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once again, appreciate you tuning in, and make sure you subscribe and all that, and like us on Facebook and Instagram. I guess we get Instagram going on. I didn't know much about it, but somebody's doing that, right?
It's been going for a while.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I don't see Instagram.
Yeah.
I barely see Facebook.
We'll download it on your phone for you, Hal.
Yeah.
We'll make you an account.
Okay. Then I'll have TikTok
Peep
probably or
pause.
something. Huh?
Yeah.
Gonna have TikTok.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. And make sure you support our sponsors. And the wool will be out soon. They're being made, the jackets. We'll have them out, then the pants, and we're going to start working. Hey, all you women out there listening,
Oh,
we've heard the word. We're going to start working on a line of women's wool clothes,
Oh, that's awesome.
and we might need a few suggestions.
Yep.
So we're going to get a couple of them made right up here and let the gals try them on, see what they think.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. All right then. Till next time. Good luck on the trail.
Hi everyone, team member Mark Sheeran here. I've been helping people solve their addictions for the last 34 years. In 2017, we published the revolutionary non-12-step book, The Freedom Model for Addictions. If you'd like a free paperback copy sent directly to you, go to freebook.freedommodel.org. That's freebook.freedommodel.org. All right, take care.
Hey guys, Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a 4-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And, of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.